Live from Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois. Tonight, it's the Chicago White Sox against the Baltimore Orioles. Joel Davis, a young right-hander with a record of 4-4, will pitch for Chicago. And Mike Boddicker, the ace of the Orioles staff with 11 wins and 4 losses, will be on the mound for the Birds. Good evening, everybody. I'm Frank Messer, and thank you very much for joining us for White Sox baseball on Sports Vision tonight. Don Drysdale is on assignment. Del Crandall joins us for game number 3 of this series. And Del Crandall, tonight the Sox trying to end something new under Jim Fregosi, and that is a modest losing streak, 3 in a row.
Yeah, right. I think the ball club has to learn how to respond to a losing streak under Jim Fregosi. I'm sure they would have preferred it not to come. However, it has. The Birds, you know, really a tough club for the White Sox. They have been over the years, and this year certainly isn't any different.
Well, 5-1 so far this year, Baltimore is. And tonight, Joel Davis, first time he's ever pitched in his career against Baltimore. He might have just a slight advantage, especially the first time or two through the batting order.
If he has good stuff, he'll definitely have the advantage. But if he's not able to make pitches, the Baltimore club hitting very well, and he's going to have trouble getting them out. But at the same time, he has pitched very well since Fregosi has taken over. He has good stuff, has a good fastball, been able to get his breaking ball over, so he could do a good job tonight.
And Earl Weaver goes with his ace, Mike Boddicker. We'll talk more about him as the game gets going. And right now, the White Sox are ready to take the field, and here's Del with the starting lineups.
And here is a starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles. Leading off and playing third base, Tom O'Malley. Lee Lacy in right field, Fred Lynn in center, Cal Ripken at shortstop, Jimmy Dwyer, the DH tonight, Juan Benitez at first, John Shelby in left field, Al Pardo behind the plate, and Juan Bonilla at second base, doing a good job for them. There's the pitcher, Mike Boddicker, good-looking young man, no question about that. 11-4, 4.27 ERA, is making his 17th start of the season, and here's the lineup that he's going to have to face for the White Sox. Leading off and playing center field is John Cangelosi. Ozzie Guillen is at shortstop, Harold Baines in right field, Greg Walker at first. White Sox DH Jerry Hairston, Tim Hewlett at third, Steve Lyons in left field, Julio Cruz at second base, Joel Skinner back behind the plate once again as Carlton Fisk is not quite ready to play. And on the mound, 21-year-old right-hander Joel Davis is 4-4, ERA of 4.43, and he is making his 18th start of the season. The umpires for tonight's contest behind the plate is going to be the umpire who fills in when the people go on vacation. That's Mark Johnson. Larry McCoy, the acting crew chief, will be at first base. Vic Voltaggio at second base, and Tim Welke will be at third base. That's your umpires. We have a nice evening here at Comiskey. The wind, as you can see, briskly blowing out to center field, and the weather about 79 degrees and the wind at 14 miles an hour. There is a chance of showers, but right now we see a few clouds around the area, but none right over Comiskey Park as it's nice and sunshiny. And there's a look at Joel Davis, and he's just about getting ready to face the leadoff hitter, Tom O'Malley. And here to step in and tell you about it is Frank Messer.
Thank you very much, Del Crandall, and good evening once again, everybody, and thank you for joining us for White Sox baseball on Sports Vision. O'Malley takes low, and this game is underway. Tommy O'Malley is hitting .250, 1 home run and 14 RBIs. He is 0 for 5 in this series. Davis 4-4 for the year, and a fastball inside gets away. Looking at the Sox defensively, in left field, Steve Lyons, John Cangelosi in center, Harold Baines in right, Tim Hewlett at third, Ozzie Guillen at short, Julio Cruz at second, Greg Walker at first, and Joel Skinner behind the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to O'Malley. On the ground, right side, and Cruz has it deep, waits for Walker to get back to the bag, and there's one away. 1 down, none on, to bring up Lee Lacy. Lacy had a pair of hits in 3 at-bats last night. He's hitting .272. 6 home runs, 32 RBIs for the year. Well, the Orioles have had their way with the White Sox so far this year. In the 6 games played, Baltimore has won 5 of them. Leondos Lacy, and he takes a breaking pitch for a call, strike 1. Cal Ripken Sr. calls the turns at third base for the Orioles, and Jimmy Williams is the first base coach for skipper Earl Weaver. Now a fastball, and it's 2 strikes on Lacey. Lacey out of Longview, Texas. Spent a lot of time with the Dodgers and the Pirates over in the National League. Fastball high and away, and the count is 1-2. Joel Davis, in his 18th start, he has pitched 1 complete game. 102 innings, 105 hits, 49 walks, 54 strikeouts, and a .443 earned run average. Played by the third baseman Hewlett. And that's all for Lacey. 2 down. This will be a night, Del Crandall, if the pitchers will be well advised to keep the pitches down, have the ball hit on the ground with that wind we talked about, Boyd, straight out.
Yeah, if any ball that's hit very high in the air is going to be affected by the wind. It's going to carry it a little bit further than it normally would travel. One of the things that I think is very obvious over the last few starts, and especially since Dick Bosman and Fregosi have been here, Joel Davis' mechanics are much, much better.
Freddie Lynn steps in.
By that, watch him when he delivers the ball. Now, prior to their coming, he was falling all over the mound. His balance was very bad. He was dropping down, slinging the ball a little bit, but now he's right behind his pitches.
Ball and a strike to Lynn. Freddie, a .314 hitter, 1 for 6 in the series.
And I think it certainly has benefited him. He has thrown some good innings and really hasn't done an awful lot of struggling like he did earlier.
2 balls and a strike. You think then it is the influence of Fregosi and Bosman that has changed the mechanics of Joel Davis?
I don't think there's any question about it. Now, it's not to say that he wasn't told by the other people. It's just that when somebody new comes in and emphasizes it, sometimes they get your attention a little bit better than the old guard.
And again, Cruz makes the play, this time to his left, and throws Lynn out to retire the side. So 3 ground balls thrown by Joel Davis. 1, 2, 3 at the end of 1/2 inning. Baltimore nothing, and the Sox are coming up. And we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Joel Davis got the Orioles out in order, and now the Sox will take a look at Mike Boddicker. I'll tell you something, this Boddicker has turned himself around. Last year, only 2 pitchers in the American League lost any more games than Boddicker. Young of Seattle with 19 losses, and Bobby Darwin of Milwaukee with 18. Boddicker lost 17 games for the Orioles last year. Now, going from the basement to the penthouse, look at this. There's only 1 pitcher in the American League with any more wins than Boddicker this year. That's Roger Clemens of the Boston Red Sox, who has won 15. Boddicker and Oil Can Boyd, the late Oil Can Boyd, with 11 wins each.
By late, now he didn't expire, did he?
No, he didn't expire. He just ran away.
He was suspended, too, I think, Frank, for 3 days and maybe even longer if he decides not to apologize to everybody involved.
Well, Lou Gorman said he won't put the uniform. They took his uniform out of his locker. Gorman said that he will not put the uniform back on until he apologizes to his teammates and pays a very stiff fine. We'll talk about that a little more if we get a chance. Right now, Cangelosi, but that's quite a turnaround for Boddicker. He is a quality pitcher, is Mike Boddicker. Cangelosi, 2 for 9 in the series, batting .242. Cangelosi, a better hitter left-handed, batting .257 than right-handed, .208. Big reason for that is he's got a little head start as a left-hand hitter down the line at first, and most of his hits are going to be ground balls. That one back up the middle and on through the base hit to center field. All right. Cangelosi's got to hit the ball on the ground, I think, Del, to get base hits, and that was a good example right there.
Yep, we're going to get another look at it. As you see, Cangelosi hit the fastball. It was away from him and up a little bit. Just got by Boddicker. Just got by Ripken on out into center field for a base hit.
Looks like he might have got it down toward the end of the bat, but he's on. And let's see if Fregosi goes to a running game early in this one or not. As the batter will be Ozzie Guillen. Cangelosi with 37 stolen bases, second in the league only to Ricky Henderson of the New York Yankees. Guillen shows bunt and takes the ball outside. Guillen is hitting .248, 3 for 9 in the series. All singles. He has scored a run and driven in a run. He has hit in 10 of his last 11 games, going 12 for 44. Cangelosi back easily at first. Ozzie Guillen has shown a good glove. No errors since committing his 11th on May 26th. He has played a little closer at first. 37 out of 46 attempts. That is a very, very good average. Very good. Back to Ozzie Guillen. Good glove. He has not made an error. Throw to first. Closer again. Boddicker keeps working on Cangelosi.
Boddicker has a pretty good move, as you have seen, to first base. He's going to keep Cangelosi honest, but at the same time, he used to have a very high leg kick.
There he goes. Got a fairly good jump to throw to second base, and he is safe. That was a fastball. A good chance for Pardo to throw him out. But even with those throws over there, Cangelosi runs right out from under his stirrups.
Look at the short leg kick by Boddicker that time, but Cangelosi with a good jump. Good throw by Pardo, but just not there in time, as you see Cangelosi slide all the way through Ripken's legs. I just hope he doesn't get hurt someday doing that. There you see a good throw, but just not in time.
Well, Cangelosi has so much momentum, Del. He slides across the bag every time he does steal a base or try to steal a base. 1-1 again with Cangelosi in scoring position on the stolen base. And Boddicker goes to a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, the White Sox in last night's ball game was not able to get Cangelosi over to third base, as he did the same thing, singled and stole second base. Guillen could not get him to third base. We'll see if he does it tonight.
He's got to pull the ball to do it. He pulls it. That's going to be a foul ball and out of play. Out of reach.
Frank, you know, we were talking about Boddicker, the big turnaround from last year to this year. And we're going to take a look at the defense for the Baltimore Orioles. Shelby in left, Lynn in center, Lacey in right, O'Malley at third, Ripken the shortstop, Bonilla at second, Beniquez at first base, and Al Pardo behind the plate. In 1984, prior to last year losing his 17 ball games, he won 20, led the American League in victories.
He was the only 20-game winner in the American League. Right. Guillen fouls it out. The count of ball and 2 strikes on Ozzie. Waiting in the on-deck circle, Harold Baines, Sox only representative on the All-Star squad for next Tuesday night's game down in the Astrodome in Houston. The Orioles will present the starting shortstop in that ball game, in Cal Ripken. Down the left field side, foul.
Well, I can hardly wait for the game to start so I can see him.
Yeah, me too now. I wasn't that
shortstop.
Interested till I said that.
That's right. I'm going to be there for the opening lineups, too, just to hear them present them.
You know, I couldn't say that again if I tried, and I'm not going to try it. And I'm sorry I did then.
I liked it.
Yeah, I like chocolate ice cream, too, but I can't eat it. On the coaching lines for the Sox as time is called, Doug Rader at third base and Ed Brickman at first base. One and two to Guillen. Cangelosi at second. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boddicker tied for second in the American League with 11 wins. 5th in the league with a winning percentage of .733. You know, it's a pretty good feeling for a manager, as Earl Weaver has done in this series, to win the first 2 games and still have your ace yet to go.
That's right.
Fouled off to the right side as Ozzie tries to pull the ball and get Cangelosi over, and there's Jim Fregosi. And on the other side, Earl Weaver, the Earl of Baltimore. I caught him. Well, we caught Fregosi the other night. He got chewed out on his radio show.
Well, right, Earl Weaver in care of Baltimore.
Earl has just about furnished his mansion with coupons from those cigarettes that he smokes. Earl is I was talking to Earl about smoking tonight. I told him I'd quit, and I was a heavy smoker, and I haven't had a cigarette since May 5th. Right back to the pitcher. So Guillen does not do the job. Cangelosi has to stay at second. And Ozzie picks up a minus.
Well, that was a confrontation. Boddicker doing everything he could to keep Ozzie Guillen from pulling the ball. Ozzie trying to pull it. Might have went after a pitch that was out of the strike zone outside, and that's the last place you'd want to hear. Let's take a look at it. There's an off-speed pitch. See, a ball is way outside. Ozzie can't do anything more with it than what he did, which was not enough.
Well, he could have taken it.
Yes, he could have taken it.
For ball 3. Here's Harold Baines. So now we'll take a base hit to get Cangelosi home. Baines hitting .310, 12 home runs, and the RBI leader on the White Sox club. That's ARBY. Arby, as in roast beef sandwich. RBI, runs batted in, leader. I like that. It's a good marketing slogan. You don't like it, huh? I think it's pretty good. Somebody came up with a good idea. Fouled out of play. Baines will represent the White Sox on the All-Star Club. He will not be a starter. The starting outfield will be Ricky Henderson in left, Kirby Puckett in center, Dave Winfield in right.
Funny. I'm sorry, but isn't it funny how some of the players get a lot more publicity than this guy? He really is an outstanding performer.
Well, I'll tell you, when Carlton Fisk outpolls him in the vote for an outfield spot on the All-Star team, there's got to be something wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong. He is really one of the best kept secrets in the major leagues.
He is good. There's no question about it. He's one of the league's best hitters, most consistent hitters, good clutch hitter. Off-speed pitch, and he takes it for 2 balls and a strike.
Hits left-handers as well as right-handers. Sure outfielder. When he gets there, he catches the ball.
Not the speediest man in the league, but Greg Walker waiting in the on-deck circle. But Baines, day in and day out, will do it. Yeah, some people are sung and some people are unsung. Then Harold is just unsung.
He's just unsung.
Really?
That's right.
3 balls and a strike to count to him. Well, his teammates can appreciate what he does. Sox fans can appreciate what he does. Right side and off the glove of Benitez, and Cangelosi will score. And the Sox go out in front, 1-0. Way to go, youngster. Look at that kid down there cheering for him.
Hey, you're going to see the first baseman, Benitez, give us an assist, I think, and score this run. There you see him knock it down, and it gets on past Bonilla. Bonilla might have had a shot at knocking the ball down had Benitez not hit it. And by hitting it, it gave him an opportunity to come around from second base, and Cangelosi scored.
Well, Benitez playing out of position really at first base, an outfielder by trade. That's a base hit, an RBI for Baines, who now has driven in 53 runs for the year. And Greg Walker takes a ball down low. 1 out. Sox leading 1-0. Walk 2 for 7 in the series. 2 balls and no strikes. With that base hit, Harold Baines has now hit in 7 consecutive games and in 17 of his last 19. Popped him up. That's playable on the left side. Third baseman O'Malley handles it. 2 down. And it'll bring up Jerry Hairston. Hairston is 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter in this series. Hairston has had base hits in his last 3 pinch hitting appearances, 2 in this series. He's hit in 6 straight games and 9 of his last 10.
I mean, from the left side, he's hitting .329 too, so he's swinging the bat well.
Both his home runs have been from the left side. Takes ball 1. 14 for 29 in his last 10 games. Breaking ball that time, and it's a ball and a strike.
Boddicker has a pitch that they call a Fosh ball. Frankie, have you ever heard of that before? He may be the only one in the history of the game who's thrown it.
Well, it's a combination of a changeup and what, a
Screwball.
Screwball. The Orioles, in the Oriole vocabulary, a changeup is a dead fish. They've referred to a changeup. I don't know why. It's peculiar to the Baltimore club. But a changeup has always been a dead fish. And Boddicker, I don't know how they get that accounts for the ish part of Osh or the SH part, but how they come up with the rest of it, I don't know, but that is what they call it. Timmy Hewlett is the on-deck hitter. Struck him out off speed. That'll retire the side, but the Sox score, and at the end of one, it is Chicago 1 and Baltimore 0.
There's a look at the American League. California defeated by Boston 3-2. Toronto a loser to Oakland 5-3. And Kansas City defeated Detroit 7-4. Texas 11-6 over Cleveland. And New York will be at Minnesota, Seattle at Milwaukee. Philadelphia defeated by Houston 4-3. New York 10-1 over Atlanta. We'll have the rest of it for you in a bit.
Right here's Cal Ripken Jr., the starting shortstop. Hey, I got it right. Tuesday night.
The starting what?
The starting shortstop. Cal is hitting .299, 13 homers, 48 RBIs. And the count will be a ball and a strike. Ripken hit his 13th home run of the year last night. Joel Davis, in his first appearance ever against the Baltimore Orioles. Ripken has hit .369 since June 5th, going 52 for his last 141 at-bats. Raised his batting average from .242 to the current .299. A ball and 2 strikes. On the road trip, the Orioles, this is their 9th game of the road trip. He has hit .474, 18 for 38. 4 of those 18 hits have been home runs. 3 of them have been doubles. He's driven in 12 and scored 8. Bounces it off the plate. Davis has to wait for it to come down, but plenty of time to get it. Let's look at the rest of the National League.
There, we had New York 10, Atlanta 1, San Francisco 3-1 over Pittsburgh. And Cincinnati at Montreal, Chicago at Los Angeles, and St. Louis will be at San Diego.
1 out here in the top of the second. Sox leading 1-0, and Jimmy Dwyer, the batter. Dwyer's hitting .313, 1 for 4 in this series. 5 homers, 13 runs batted in. Ball 1.
Frank, you notice who is going to pitch for San Diego? Ed Whitson. Going to get his first start since going over there from the Yankees. They booed him right out of town all the way to the West Coast.
I got a feeling he may pitch well over there. I really do. 2 balls and no strikes. It was just one of those things in New York. Woodson feared for his life in New York, so he told me. He feared for his family's safety. And I tell you, when you're in that situation, you better get out.
Yep, you certainly should.
You just got to get out. There's no other way around it. That is 3 balls and no strikes. Well, he goes back to San Diego, from whence he came to the Yankees, off a 14-8 1984 season with the Padres. That got him, well, it made him a millionaire.
Yep.
That 14, and that's the only really good season Woodson has had. But he could go back there and win for him. Ball 4, and Dwyer walks on 4 pitches. First base runner for Baltimore. And the 50th man walked by Davis this year. Joel is averaging 4.3 walks per 9 innings pitched this season, and that is way too many.
It's too many, but it was higher than that earlier. He has brought his walks down, I think, quite a bit.
He has walked 50 and struck out 54. They say a good percentage only is 2 strikeouts for every walk. Boniquez fouls one. And that time Skinner may have been crossed up on the pitch. He goes right out to Davis. Juan is 2 for 8 in this series. Double, single, scored a run. Asked Boniquez one time how he got started in baseball, Dell. He said he played Little League. Said it was the toughest thing he ever did was play Little League ball because his daddy was the coach.
Oh, yes.
He said if I made a mistake, he really got mad at me. Back in the same spot.
Frank, Gene Mock made a statement about Juan Boniquez last year when he was with the California Angels, saying that he was the best first baseman on his club. So Boniquez has played shortstop. I think he might have started his career in the infield, but Mock said that he was the best first baseman that he had, but with Carew there, he didn't play much.
He's got a base hit in the right field. See if Dwyer tries for third. He will not. He'll not test Baines and stops at second base. So the first base hit, and the Orioles are building trouble for Joel Davis. Runners at first and second. 1 out.
Well, Jim Fragosi's on the way out to the mound as we take a look at the ball hit by Boniquez. Not hit very well. In fact, you see Baines has to come a long way before he finally catches up with the ball. The runner had to stop at second base. There's Jim Fragosi going out to have a word with his young right-hander.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he got that base hit off an 0-2 pitch. That sometimes will upset a manager.
Well, Fragosi, since he's been here, has not been reluctant to go out to the mound. He, at the first sign of anything that he determines is something he'd like to stop right now, he is on his way out to the mound. And this is one of the good things about the fact that he works with his pitchers. He just doesn't leave it up to the pitching coach, Dick Bosman. Jim Fragosi is right there also, so he has some things to say.
Getting back to Boniquez, you're right. He first came into pro ball as a shortstop, but then for about the last 9 or 10 years, he has played mostly in the outfield. So he's made some good plays down at first base in this series.
Bet.
But unfortunately for him, and fortunately for the Sox, he misplayed a ball in this inning. That is a foul ball off the bat of Shelby, and a good thing. Strike 1. Shelby, good speed. And he was bunting, not for a sacrifice, of course, with 1 out. He was bunting for a base hit right there. Had an idea. Shelby, a .216 hitter. There's Dwyer back to second base, and Boniquez back at first. 1 out. Shelby's had a couple of hits in this series, including a big triple night before last. Fouled off for strike 2. Waiting over in the on-deck circle, the young catcher, Al Pardo. Pardo hit his first home run of his major league career night before last. Two strikes on Shelby. Runners at first and second, and Davis steps off. The Sox are leading 1-0. The Birds have a threat. Out of play on the left side. Again, he got Wood on an 0-2 pitch. Look around the stands here. Pretty good crowd again tonight. Great weather for baseball. You know something? I sat downtown in my apartment today, Dell, and watched the air show outside my window. I've never done anything like that before. That was just great. See the old planes, and of course later on they had the newer ones. Well hit center field, but Cangelosi is going to be there. Picks it off, and there are 2 down. Runners hold, and it'll be 2 outs to Pardo. I want to tell you something else. The more I get around this great city of Chicago, the more I find to enjoy. I got back downtown last night, in time to stop by Grant Park and hear some of the symphony. Just unbelievable.
A lot of things going on. There's no question about it.
Unbelievable. Finding things to do I never would have thought of before. Al Pardo batting 175, 1 homer, 3 RBIs. Foul ball. Pardo 2 for 8 in the series. He is a switch hitter. However, he's had only 4 at-bats as a right-hand hitter. 2 down, runners at first and second. Oh, that pitch was moving. You see Skinner having to slap at it there with a mitt?
Yeah, in fact, you would think that he had lost it somehow or other, but this is not the kind of night or the time of night that you would think that would happen to him, but he really had to get up in a hurry.
Now Davis is in with a strike, and it's 1-2 to Pardo. Right at second baseman Julio Cruz throws him out, and the threat for the Orioles goes by the board. They leave 2 men on, and in the middle of the second, the Sox lead it 1-0. Well, we think about the All-Star game coming up Tuesday night, and we go back in memory just a little bit. Some of the Sox All-Stars, Al Simmons in 1933, Jimmy Dykes at third base, Simmons again in 34 and 35. Luke Appling came on the scene in 36, as did Ray Radcliffe. Yes, Del?
These were in the days when the American League was winning the All-Star game.
Oh,
you know?
Perennial winners. That's very, very true. Very true. Krivich, Lee, Smith, as you go on down the line. Mike Krivich. Isn't that a name from out of the past?
You know, that name sticks in my mind. I have heard of him.
Played up until about 41 with the Sox. From the, well, let's see, it was up there, no, at 1933. Probably 8 or 9 years. Timmy Hewlett batting 253. And Boddicker evens the count with that breaking pitch low and away, a ball and a strike. Hewlett with 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, and 1 for 7 in this series. Fastball comes in high, 2-1. Hewlett is 26 years old, solidly built young man, 6 feet tall, weighs 183 pounds. Hard smash in the hole, good backhand stop, and a very strong throw by Ripken. Cal Ripken doesn't seem to be slowing down a bit. Look at this.
Watch him plant himself. Watch this. And boy, he turns the ball loose. He got right up on top, and no problem for Beniquez. The throw was right there, a strike.
This is Ripken's 689th consecutive game, and this inning is his 6,231st consecutive inning without a rest at shortstop. Steve Lyons 0 for 4 in the series, batting 240. Ball 1. Now, Lyons has had a little trouble here with the Sox. He's batting 192 since they traded Seaver for him, 5 for 26. But he brought a 250 batting average over from Boston. 1-1. Out of play on the left side, makes the seats. Michael James Boddicker. The 11 wins this year for the Orioles. On his way to a possible 20-win season. Lyons fouls one this time to the first base dugout. This young man makes his home in Iowa. the town called Norway, Iowa. So Lyons has gone on strike. Second strikeout for Boddicker. Bringing up Julio Cruz. Cruiser is hitting .252, but .280 of that, or .280 as a left-hand hitter. Strike wide. Boddicker set that record of 14 strikeouts in a playoff game against the White Sox. Game 2 of the '83 American League Championship Series. Ken Dixon came within 1 last night when he struck out 13. And 6 in a row for Dixon in last night's ball game. 1-2 the count on Cruz. And played by the third baseman O'Malley. Over to Benitez, 3 up, 3 down, and at the end of 2, the score: the Sox 1 and the Birds nothing. Every Monday night, Sox home game in 1986 is a Sox half-price night. All box, reserved, and general admission tickets are half price. The next Sox half-price night of the year is set for July 28th against the Boston Red Sox. I'm Frank Messer at Comiskey Park. On Sports Vision tonight, the Sox and the Orioles. Don Drysdale on assignment. Joining me tonight, Del Crandall. And as we go to the third inning, here's Del to call it for you.
Thank you, Frankie. And you're looking at Juan Bonilla, the second baseman for the Orioles. And he takes a strike. Bonilla hitting at .280. He has 1 home run, has driven in 9, 4 for 8 this series. So he's swinging the bat well against the White Sox pitching. And he takes another strike. 0-2. So Joel Davis out in front of Bonilla. Bonilla had a couple of pretty good years with San Diego. In 1981, he hit .290. 82, he hit .280. There's a little tapper. Davis has it. And that takes care of Bonilla. 1 out. That'll bring to the plate the leadoff hitter for the O's, third baseman Tom O'Malley. O'Malley struggling, 0 for 6 in the series, getting an opportunity to come back and play in the big leagues. Tom, a fine young man, was in a White Sox uniform a couple of years ago. Didn't get much of an opportunity to play here. And Davis out in front of O'Malley.
Got a total of 12 games, I believe, Del, and had 16 at-bats for the Sox.
Started out with the Giant organization. There's a ball hit. Fair ball, just over the bag. It's going to go for extra bases. O'Malley on his way. Oops, he falls down. Baines with the throw. It's not going to be in time.
Well, that was interesting. I thought a fan may have touched that ball. It did not bounce out to Baines off the base of the wall out there. Well, let's watch the ball right down here. It is right over the bag, as Del told you, a fair ball immediately called by the first base umpire. Now let's watch right here as fans reach out. Oh, that's what happened. It went in that little drain right there. I'll be darned. And O'Malley did fall down, but was able to scramble up. And had that ball not gone into that little drain hole down there and bounced back out, Baines would have had him at second base. Look at it again. Over the bag. And it's just like a cue ball in the side pocket. Look at this. Whoops, there it goes right in. What are the odds on that?
And a fastball strike to Lee Lacy. 6-double for Mr. O'Malley. And he's certainly grateful for the opportunity to get back up in the big leagues. Lee Lacy, the right fielder for the O's, 0 for 1. And strike 2. Joel Davis with a good fastball this evening, making pretty good pitches with it. When he didn't to Beniquez, why, Fregosi came out and told him about it. Fastball misses high and outside. It was one of those pitches where Davis was going to make sure that he didn't get a good 0-2 pitch to hit, and missed way outside. Doesn't really do much good to throw a pitch that far off of the strike zone. 1-2 on Lacy. O'Malley at second, gets his lead. Missed again outside. Count even now at 2-2.
I've had some pitching coaches tell me, Del, that there's really no such thing. There should be no such thing as a waste pitch. It is a purpose pitch.
Purpose pitch.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
When you got 2 strikes, then use that pitch for a purpose.
Now it's 3-2. So Davis, after getting out in front 0-2, has missed with 3 straight fastballs. It's now 3-2 on Lacy. Tying run for the O's at second base in Tom O'Malley, who doubled with 1 out. And he walked him.
Well, he didn't want to do that. Now he had 2 strikes on him. No balls, 2 strikes, and loses him on the next 4 pitches on fastballs. And now he's got to pitch to Freddie Lynn, the hottest hitter on the Orioles squad, with 2 men on. On the scoreboard, Oakland nipped Toronto 5-3. That is a final from this afternoon. Boston squeezed California 3-2. That is a final. Jim Fregosi down in the dugout. Seattle at Milwaukee tonight. The Brewers have lost 6 in a row. They'll try to break that streak. And the Yankees play the Twins in the Metrodome tonight. We'll check other scores for you as we go along. Del?
Freddie Lynn, and he takes high. Joel Davis right now overthrowing the fastball and missing the strike zone.
Texas ripped Cleveland 11-6.
One ball, no strikes on Lynn. Swing and a miss. So Davis really staying with his fastball. Been a little wild with it, but it looks like a good one. The hitters are reacting to it as though it's getting on them in a hurry. 1 ball and a strike. Ball hit the center. Cangelosi over. He's got it. O'Malley tags up at second. He will make it to third. And the Orioles now have runners at first and third and 2 out. And that'll bring to the plate the starting shortstop in the American League All-Star team. There's Gene Nelson. Starting to heat up for the White Sox. Ripken 0 for 1 so far tonight. 3 hits in last night's ball game. And a base hit in the first game of the series. 1-0. O'Malley at third and Lee Lacy at first. Two balls and no strikes. Joel Davis thought he might have nipped the corner with that one. Joel Skinner wanted the ball inside, and Joel Davis threw it right there, but just missed the inside corner. So look at Jimmy Dwyer. And a good fastball in and over. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs on the shortstop, Cal Ripken. a base hit to center field. And O'Malley will come in with the tying run. We now have a 1-1 tie as Cal Ripken drives in his 49th run of the year.
Well, we'll take another look at it. Pitch is right there out over the plate for Ripken, and he lines it hard to center field. O'Malley scores easily from third, and Jim Fregosi is on his way out to the mound again with Ripken down at first base, having driven in his 49th run of the year. And here comes the Sox skipper. You're right, Del. He doesn't mind going right out there. Puts his arm around Joel Davis and passes along a little fatherly type advice. Now you have you caught for so many years. You've managed Del Crandall. What is there an advantage to going right out there and imparting it at the moment?
Well, it can work two ways. Sometimes with a young pitcher, it kind of puts the heat on him, and he might get a little bit reluctant to get the ball over the plate if whatever he's throwing has been hit, and the manager comes out and tells him about it as Jimmy Dwyer steps in, the DH. So it can work both ways. It depends on the makeup of the pitcher, how much he can use it at that particular time. There's a ball. Walker can't get it. Here comes Lacey. He's going to score. Ripken on his way to third. He's going to be held up. A double by Jimmy Dwyer down the right field line, and the O's lead it 2-1.
Now Dwyer. That ball is up there. I don't think Davis wanted to pitch him quite up there. And Dwyer hits the ball hard past Walker, and Joel Davis has thrown his last pitch in the game. As Baines comes up with it, the Orioles are out in front by a score of 2-1. Runners at second and third. And with Beniquez coming up, Fregosi at the mound, and he's going to make a pitching change. The 8th double of the year for Jimmy Dwyer, and his 14th run batted in. So Joel Davis leaves the ball game on the short end of a 2-1 score. He's thrown 49 pitches. We'll tell you more about Davis, and Gene Nelson will be coming on when we come back. Right now, there's a break in the action, timeout on the field, and we'll be back after this. Gene Nelson is on the pitch for the Chicago White Sox. 4 wins, 4 losses, and an earned run average of 3.86. 65 and a third innings, 1 save for Nelson. Allowed 66 hits, a hit an inning, walked 26, struck out 43 men. Gene Nelson pitched 3 scoreless innings and allowed just 2 hits and struck out 4. His last outing, that was Wednesday against Cleveland. Prior to that, he had given up 16 earned runs in his previous 9 outings, covering 13 and 1/3 innings. So Nelson had turned things around his last time out and comes into this ball game early here in relief as Joel Davis goes 2 2/3. Allows 4 hits, 2 runs so far, 2 walks and no strikeouts. And you saw Nelson's figures against Baltimore. He pitched 2/3 of an inning against Baltimore down in Baltimore on the 13th. Gave up an unearned run. He got his save here at Comiskey on the 29th of April against the Baltimore Orioles in a ball game in which he pitched 6 2/3 innings. Now that was a start. He lost that one. I'm sorry. Had 6 strong innings, and then he tired, Del, as I recall, in that one, and lost the ball game.
And Juan Beniquez taps it over the pitcher's mound. Guillen is there, and he throws on to first base. That takes care of Beniquez and the Orioles, but the Orioles have come up with a couple of runs, and they lead the White Sox 2-1.
Baseball Midday is back tomorrow against the Baltimore Orioles. Kool-Aid will give the first 15,000 kids 14 and under a free high-quality baseball mitt with a Sox logo. These high-quality mitts would sell in the stores for $12 or more. So don't miss this one tomorrow here at Comiskey Park.
Joel Skinner leads it off, and here's the first pitch from Boddicker, and a breaking ball in and over. Baltimore leading the White Sox 2-1. White Sox jumped out in front in the first inning, but Baltimore scored 2. in the top half of this inning. Joe Skinner struggling a bit, 0 for 8. And he misses inside with an off-speed pitch. 2 balls and a strike on Joel. Look out, Joel. Three and one. Well, you know that pitch wasn't intended to be in there. It just got away from him. We're going to get another look at it. Look out. That's that Fosh ball that got away, I guess, Frankie.
Yeah, must have.
And a strike.
He's sure not going to be throwing at Skinner, and he sure doesn't want to hit Skinner. You got a man hitting but 190 and hitless in the series. You don't want to give him any free ticket down to first base.
3 and 2 on Skinner. There's a ball. Ripken there. Another good throw, and that takes care of Skinner. So Skins is hitless in his last 9 at-bats. Cangelosi steps in. Kanji 1 for 1, stole a base after he singled in the first inning, and he scored the only run thus far for the White Sox. O'Malley way in at third. Benikas in on the grass at first. Strike. Boddicker with a variety of speeds, variety of pitches. So far, kind of making it look easy. Another breaking ball in and over.
Well, that's what Earl Weaver said after last night's ball game. The reason Dixon has turned himself around this year is the fact that he has changed speed so well.
He tried to hit the inside corner with his fastball and miss it. There's a left-hander, Brad Havens, loosening up for the Orioles. Can't imagine why, though. Way out front. Taps it toward the Oriole dugout. Frank Robinson got a hand on it, and it caromed into the seats.
I'll tell you, when he was playing, he didn't miss too many of them. He got his hands on.
That's right, he sure didn't. Outstanding player. Oh, an off-speed pitch, just punched in the air by Cangelosi. Bonilla has it. 2 out. Two of the best competitors that I ever played against, Frank. That was Jackie Robinson and Frank Robinson. You didn't want to make either one of them mad. Didn't want to upset them because they seemed to run faster, hit the ball farther.
Yeah. I know with Frank Robinson, you never want to knock him down.
Ozzie Guillen taps the first one. It's going to roll foul down the first base line. 0-1 on Oz.
I was not privileged to see Jackie Robinson play. Not that I was.
There's Frankie.
Yeah, there's Frank. I watched Frank play when he came from Cincinnati over to Baltimore and turned the Orioles around, made him a pennant winner and a world champion in 1966. I was just not on the scene when Jackie Robinson played, but I did see Frank play, and I can certainly speak from experience about him.
There's the ball, hit pretty good, but Bonilla is over. And it's 3 up and 3 down for the White Sox, and after 3, 2-1 Baltimore.
The White Sox would like to extend a warm welcome to this group of folks from down at Douglas, Georgia. Friends of Carmen and Greg Walker, welcome to Chicago and Comiskey Park. And your neighbors and friends watching you back down there in Douglas, Georgia, hope you all are having a good time. We go to the 4th inning here with Baltimore leading 2-1. John Shelby flied out his first trip. Shows bunt, takes a strike, 0-1. I'm Frank Musser along with Del Crandall tonight. Don Drysdale on assignment will rejoin us after the All-Star break. And a strike called. It is 0-2. Did he go? He did not. Play call by Tim Welke, the third base umpire, said he checked his swing in time, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes on Shelby. Gene Nelson in relief. Struck him out. Good fastball. First strikeout for Nelson. Take another look at it. Gene just cranks up on this one. Talk about a hitter being overmatched. Shelby is overmatched right there. 1 out, and Al Pardo will step in against Nelson. Gene, if you had not watched our telecast recently, has shaved perhaps since you last saw him. The beard is gone. Pardo grounded out his first at bat and takes a strike. Joel Davis went 2 2/3 innings through 49 pitches, allowed 2 runs, both earned, on 4 hits. Walked 2 men, did not strike out anybody. Foul back and out of play. 0-2 on Pardo. Alfonso Judas Pardo. Alberto Judas Pardo. A ball and 2 strikes. Pardo, born in Oviedo, Spain. Count will be 2-2. Lives down in Tampa, Florida now. Full count, 3-2. Pardo steps back, takes a couple of practice swings. Got a sore right shin. You see the protective device. Slicing down the left side and coming over to make the play, Steve Lyons. 2 down. Well, many baseball fans possibly have dreamed of playing against stars like Minnie Minoso, Billy Pierce, and Moose Skowron. If so, your dreams can become a reality at the 2nd annual White Sox Rodman and Renshaw Fantasy Camp and Investment Seminar. It'll be held next February 1st through 8th. You can attend a week-long baseball fantasy camp in Sarasota, Florida. Plus, receive up-to-date investment information from the experts at Rodman and Renshaw. Bonilla bounces one to shortstop, and Ginn throws him out to retire the side in order. 4 in a row set down by Nelson in the middle of the 4th. Baltimore leads 2-1. The Chicago White Sox and Coca-Cola would like to invite you to be a part of the official White Sox fan club, the Chi Sox fan club. For just $10, you'll receive 2 free tickets to a White Sox regular season home game, invitations to all fan club sponsored events, and much, much more. For an application or more information, call or write to Comiskey Park. The number to call, 924-1000. You can get information on the Chicago White Sox and Coca-Cola official White Sox fan club. 924-1000. You can also call that same number for information on the Rodman and Renshaw Fantasy Camp, co-sponsored with the White Sox. 924-1000. Harold Baines had a base hit to drive in a run in the 1st inning. Takes a breaking ball for ball 1. The Orioles lead it by a score of 2-1. Baines hit a ground ball off the glove of first baseman Juan Benitez. The ball carried into right field, and John Cangelosi scored from second on the play. Ball and a strike. Leading off innings last year, Baines hit .290 with a pair of homers. That is, as the leadoff hitter in an inning. 1-2 the count to him. You follow the Sox and follow Baines, you know he had better hitting not as the leadoff man in the net. Foul ball. Well, the Sox and the Orioles wind it up tomorrow afternoon. 1:30 game here at Comiskey Park. That'll be the last action before the All-Star break. Following the All-Star game, the Sox will be on the road for 11 games, visiting New York, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Full count, 3-2. On deck batter is Greg Walker. Jack swing is going to drop in for a base hit. So an excuse me single for Baines, his 102nd base hit of the year. Hit number 3 for Chicago, and Baines has 2 of the 3. Greg Walker will step in. Popped up to O'Malley at third base, his first at bat. Well hit, but playable. And Lacy was there to make the catch. So Walker did not get all of it, as Lacy on the inner edge of the warning track hauled it down. That'll bring up Jerry Hairston, who struck out his first at bat. Tomorrow's pitchers for the 1:30 game: Neil Allen, 5-1 for the Sox, and Scott McGregor, 6-7 for the Orioles. If you're a camera buck, tomorrow's your day. Starting at 12:15, White Sox players will pose for camera fans off the right field concourse. Strike 1 to Hairston. Also tomorrow, the first 15,000 youngsters, 14 and under, who enter Comiskey Park will receive a complimentary baseball mitt courtesy of Kool-Aid. Weak grounder, right side, and it hits Harold Baines. Hairston will have a base hit, and Baines is out. That may be one of the weakest hits. You'll see. Take another look at it on the replay. Trying to pull the pitch away from him, and Jerry a slow grounder. There goes Baines, and right there the ball hits him off the right foot. The ball is dead immediately. Harold Baines, the base runner, is out, and the batter, Jerry Hairston, gets an automatic base hit. And I think that is one of the most ridiculous rules in baseball. Not the fact that the base runner should be out, but why should the hitter get a base hit? Score the put out to the second baseman unassisted, and Tim Hewlett, the batter. Strike 1 to Hewlett. Timmy grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. Breaking pitch away, and the count is 1-1. Steve Lyons is on deck. Toward the gap in right center field. That ball's going to drop in for the base hit. Hairston will race to third and be held up there. Long single for Tim Hewlett. And with 2 outs, the Sox have runners on the corners. We'll look at it again. First of all, the pitch from Boddicker. Hewlett goes down and gets one that's out over the plate and drives it to the gap in right center. Over quickly, the center fielder, Lynn, cuts it off. Saves a run as Hairston pulls in at third base. And Hewlett has the Sox 5th hit of the evening. And now it's up to Lyons.
Hey, little hit right here. Let's go.
Ball on. Now it's a shame that Baines was hit with that ground ball. If he had not been hit by the ball and the play had been to first base, Baines would have scored on that base hit by Hewlett from second. And we'd have had a tie ball game. If. 2-0 to Lyons. Steve struck out his first time, and the count is now 2-1. Slowly hit right side, fielded by the second baseman Bonilla. No runs despite 3 base hits in the inning, and at the end of 4, the score: Baltimore 2 and the Sox 1. Well, the Orioles lead the White Sox by a score of 2-1 as we go to the 5th inning here at Comiskey Park, and the Birds will present the top of the order: O'Malley, Lacy, and Lynn. Cincinnati and Montreal are scoreless in the top of the 3rd in Montreal. Houston beats Philadelphia 4-3. That's the final. And O'Malley looks at a strike. The Cubs and the Dodgers will play later on the West Coast. St. Louis is at San Diego. Strike 2. Fastball that time from Nelson. Pittsburgh lost to the Giants. It was 3-1 San Francisco in an afternoon game. The Mets big over the Braves 10-1. Final score from Shea Stadium. A ball and 2 strikes. Boston nipped California 3-2 at Fenway. Seattle is in Milwaukee tonight. The Yankees are at Minnesota. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Detroit plays in Kansas City. Those games should be getting underway very soon. Texas topped Cleveland 11-6. Final this afternoon. And nice play by Hewlett at 3rd, and throws him out. O'Malley is gone. Nelson has retired all 5 hitters since coming on following an RBI double by Jim Dwyer in the 3rd. A 2-base hit put the Orioles out in front 2-1 and took Joel Davis out of the game. Here's Lacy. Fouls a pitch away. Lacy grounded out in the 1st inning. Then Davis walked him, and he came in to score the tie-breaking run in the 3rd. Davis in 2 2/3 innings walked 2, allowed 4 hits. No balls and a strike. Back through the box and a base hit into center field. So the first base runner against Nelson. Hit number 5 for Baltimore. Fred Lynn, the batter. He is grounded out and flied out to center field. Although he is 0 for 2 tonight, Freddie Lynn still has had 12 hits in his last 29 at-bats, including 5 homers. Fly ball center field. Cangelosi should have it. And he does have it. Tagging at first, Lacy, and he goes on into second base. Heads-up base running by Lee Lacy. Moving himself into scoring position. You'll watch Cangelosi have to drift back for this fly ball, and back to his right. He'll backpedal the last few steps, makes the catch going away, And Lacy alertly tagging at first and going into second base. Watch Cangelosi's throw. He gets rid of the ball quickly once he realizes that the base runner is on the move, but his momentum was carrying him away from the throw, really. So Lacy at second, 2 down. And the batter, Ripken. Cal has driven in a run tonight with a base hit. He tied the game with a single. The Orioles scored their 2 runs in the third when, with 1 out, O'Brien doubled down the right field line. Lacy walked. Lynn flied to center with O'Brien tagging and going to third. Ripken singled, and then Dwyer doubled. Two balls and no strikes as Nelson comes in high. Neil Allen against Scott McGregor tomorrow. Right-hander for the Sox and a left-hander for the Birds. Now Ripken wants time. Popped him up, shallow right. Back is Cruz and makes the catch. No runs, a base hit. The man is left at second. At the end of 4 1/2, it's Baltimore 2 and Chicago 1. The broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Vision by the Chicago White Sox solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the expressed written consent of Sports Vision is prohibited. Well, they're dancing on the dugout roof here at Comiskey Park tonight. One of the Sox mascots with one of the fans. Saturday night in Chicago, and a lot of folks out here watching Sox baseball. They'll watch Julio Cruz, Joel Skinner, and John Cangelosi bat here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Cruiser grounded out to third in the second. He's 0 for 1. Fouls Bodeker's pitch back. Played by the second baseman, Juan Bonilla. Cruz is gone. Bonilla has had a lot of starts at second base lately. Alan Wiggins had a few problems down in Baltimore. Had a few errors. Not only with a glove, but some errant base running, we are told. And Earl Weaver inserted Bonilla, and he's been happy with Bonilla at second base, evidently, because Bonilla has started there quite a bit of late. Joel Skinner grounded out to the shortstop, Ripken, his first trip. Pops this one up, may be playable on the right side. Room for Pardo, and the catcher is there, 2 down. The Sox unable to do anything at all against Bodeker tonight, or so it would seem. Bodeker has thrown 69 pitches, and we're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. He's better than halfway through the ballgame. Bodeker spends most of the offseason in his hometown of Norway, Iowa. Population of 633. But would you believe that with only 633, the population of Norway, that town has sent 3 baseball players to the major leagues? Mike Bodeker, Hal Trotsky Sr., who played for the White Sox, came from Norway, Iowa. Cangelosi shows bunt, takes a ball. And also Bruce Kim, who caught in the American League from '76 up until 1980 and is now the bullpen coach at Cincinnati. All 3 men from Norway, Iowa, population 633. Don't you know those folks are proud? To the box, but right out. The shortstop Ripken, and another easy inning for Bodeker. 3 up, 3 down. We've completed 5 at Comiskey with Baltimore leading 2-1. Well, let's go back down memory lane again as we look at some of the Sox All-Stars of years past. Remember Thurman Tucker, 1944, Lou Gapling, 1946 and 47. Cass Michaels in 49, Nellie Fox, Jim Busby, Chico Carrasquel, Minnie Minoso. Among those in 51, Minoso and Robin. Again in 52. And now back to the present time. And for the Orioles, Jim Dwyer, 1-0 the count. Nelson high and away, and the count is 2-0. Dwyer drove in the go-ahead run with a double in the third. In the second inning, he walked, so he is 1 for 1 with an RBI. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. 1 base runner since Gene Nelson came in. Lee Lacy with a single in the 5th. Nelson has 1 strikeout. And Dwyer draws a 4-pitch walk. So the leadoff man is on here in the 6th inning. Juan Beniquez will be the batter, and we'll see how Earl Weaver will play it right here. Beniquez looks like he would prefer being on the road than at home. 327 on the road, 288 at home his batting average for the year. He's 1 for 2 tonight and 3 for 10 in this series. Strike one. Baltimore leads 2-1. Fouled off on a check swing. Strike 2. Well, folks, the next Chi Sox Fan Club luncheon will be held on Friday, August 1st at the Hamilton Hotel in Itasca. The luncheon will feature White Sox player Carlton Fisk, General Manager Tom Haller, and Manager Jim Fregosi. Luncheons are sponsored by the Chicago Sun-Times and Sherman Shoes. A ball and 2 strikes. A portion of the proceeds will go to benefit Chi Sox kids and the fight against terminal illness in children. The luncheon will start at 11:45 a.m. and end promptly at 1:30. And that'll be August 1st, a Friday, at the Hamilton Hotel in Itasca. Out of play. To reserve your place for the luncheon, call 773-4000. Like Beniquez broke his bat on that swing. You can call 773-4000 and use any major credit card, or call the White Sox office at 924-1000 for more information. We'll look for you at the Chi Sox Fan Club luncheon featuring Jim Fregosi, Carlton Fisk, and Tom Haller, August 1st. Salazar may play again this year. You looked at him right there. By Juan Beniquez hitting better on the road than at home. To expand on that a little bit, he's been held hitless in 11 of 22 home games this year, but he has hit well on the road. And there's another road base hit for him. Dwyer held up and will go to second now. And Beniquez 2 for 3 in the ball game. Second hit off Nelson. So the Orioles threaten again here in the 6th inning, and Jim Fregosi is on the phone to the bullpen. 6 hits in the ball game for Baltimore. A walk and a single, and the Orioles are in business. John Shelby will bat. He has flied to center and struck out. Dangerous pitch right there as the infield was wide open on the left side. Joel McEwen starts warming up for Chicago. Ozzie Guillen had ducked in behind the base runner Dwyer at second base for a play. Nelson delivered, and there was nobody on the left side of the infield. Now you see Guillen moving back toward his position. Shelby showed bunt there. Let's see what he does here. He does bunt. And Nelson will make the play to third. They got him. Good play by Nelson. As Hewlett got back to the bag, and Nelson threw Dwyer out on the force play. Now Shelby gets too much wood on the bunt, and watch Nelson bounce off the mound right there. Bare hand pickup. Excellent play by the pitcher. And he fires to Hewlett, who had backed up to cover third base. One out with runners at first and second. Al Pardo, the batter. He is grounded out and flied to left. His ground out was pulled. His fly ball was sliced. It's another one in the air to left field. Should be an easy chance for Lions. And there are two down. Runners will hold. Shelby back to first. Bonica is back at second. And with two outs, the batter will be Juan Bonilla. Del Crandall told you earlier Bonilla had some good playing time in San Diego. He was with the Yankees briefly, and now with the Baltimore Orioles. He was a non-roster player in spring training. Padres released him. The Yankees signed him as a free agent. He takes a strike. Now a nice gentle breeze is blowing. Where do you find those trees? Oh, I see them. Okay. And there are the flags. The balls and two strikes as Nelson finds the outside corner knee high. Juan Bonilla, born and raised in Santurce, Puerto Rico, lives in Quincy, Florida now. Fouls it to the seats off the right side. The Yankees signed him for the '85 season. As you look at Gene Nelson, another former Yankee, by the way, is Nelson. Then after the '85 season, the Yankees released him. Bonica is also a former Yankee. Shelby there at first base is not. That one will be out of play, I do believe. Walker, has he got a chance? Nope. Tarplin's in the way. So Bonilla stays alive. Yeah, better than 30,000 attendance here at Comiskey Park tonight. 30,392 to be exact. For Bonilla, called out on strikes by plate umpire Mark Johnson. No runs, a base hit, 2 men are left. In the middle of the sixth, Baltimore leads 2-1. Friday, August 1st, when the Detroit Tigers will be in town, Lee Jeans and Just Pants have teamed up to present White Sox Flight Bag Night. The first 15,000 ladies 15 and over who attend will receive a free White Sox flight bag. Compliments of Lee Jeans and Just Pants. For tickets, call 559-1212 and use your charge card, or stop by the Comiskey Park ticket office. Rich Bordy, the big, tall right-hander in the Oriole bullpen. And we go to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Ozzie Guillen has bounced back to the mound and grounded out to second. He's 0 for 2. The Sox got a run off Boddicker in the first inning when Cangelosi singled, stole second, and scored on a base hit by Baines off Bonica's glove. Bouncer up the middle, may go through, and does. Base hit. The third inning in the ballgame in which the Sox have had the leadoff man on. Here it is again. Again, free swinger, bounces it by the mound. It comes up on a high bounce and over the glove of the second baseman Bonilla, on through into center field. Base hit number 6 for Chicago. The Sox have gotten their hits in bunches, 2 in the first, 3 hits without a run in the fourth inning. And now a leadoff single here by Ginn, and Harold Baines out. Harold is 2 for 2 with a run batted in. Ginn safe at first. Baltimore leads 2-1. Foul ball. The on-deck batter is Greg Walker. So the Sox have the big guns up. Baines with Walker to follow, then Hairston. Ozzie has stolen 6 out of 8 attempts. He won't be stealing with Baines up, I don't believe. A ball and a strike to Harold. Baines has hit in 7 straight games. He now has 12 hits in his last 26 at-bats. He had a good swing, but no contact. A ball and 2 strikes. Pitch, and Ginn will go to second. Boddicker will try to put too much on a breaking pitch, or perhaps the Foch ball, and bounces it well out in front of home plate. His 4th wild pitch of the year. So Boddicker upset with himself, and the Sox have the tying run at second base. Nobody out. 2-2 the count on Baines. Down to the right field corner. That is going to be off the wall. Ginn may not score. He had to hold up, and he'll be stopped at third. A 2-base hit for Baines, but Ginn holding up. Had to be flagged down at third by Doug Rader. That was one of those that from up here you knew the ball would not be caught, but from ground level you could not be sure. Baines' 3rd hit of the game. Right here, a hanging curveball, and he got it. The ball well away from the right fielder Lacy. And Baines down there chatting with a Tuesday night teammate. He and Ripken will both be in Houston for the All-Star game. Ripken will start. Baines will be in reserve. So runners at second and third. Nobody out, and Greg Walker the batter. The Sox have 7 hits tonight, and Harold Baines has 3 of them. Walker is popped up and flied to right. If you've been with us for the entire telecast, you saw earlier some of Greg's friends and neighbors from Douglas, Georgia, on hand for the ball game tonight. 2 balls and no strikes. Odell Jones, the right-hander, and Brad Havens, the left-hander, loosening up in the Bird bullpen. Jones and Havens. Boddicker in a jam. He is allowed now 7 base hits. side, and the tying run will score. Walker is out. Benitez to Boddicker covering. The Birds give up the run to get the out, and Guillen is in with the tying run in the ball game. An RBI for Walker is 43rd, and we've got a brand new contest, and the go-ahead run is at third. Walker has driven in at least one run in each of his last 6 ball games now. And we'll take another look at it. Ground ball right side. Benitez backhands the ball. Underhand toss to the pitcher, Boddicker covering. Walker is out, 3-1 on the scoring, but has tied it up. And Jerry Hairston now will bat with the infield drawn in. Hairston is 1 for 2 and 3 for 4 in the series. Ball one. You can see the defense right there. They're in tight around for play at the plate, or they'll try to hold Baines at third. Advantage goes to the hitter, of course, as the infielders do not have that much lateral movement. When they're drawn in that close, the ball will get to them so much quicker. But if a ball is hit right at one of them, you've either got to play it home or the runner will have to hold at third. 2 balls and no strikes. Right now, Jerry Hairston would settle for a fly ball to the outfield. You got the Sox ahead. He's had 1 sac fly this year, and that's going to be a base hit. Fair ball down to the corner. Baines in to score. Sox lead it 2-1, and Hairston has doubled to break the tie. It is barely fair, but a fair ball, 2-base hit. Hairston drives the ball hard down the right side and right on the chalk stripe. Fouls over toward the stands. Not touched by anybody. Lacy up with it. Baines walks home from third with a go-ahead run, and Jerry Hairston has his 7th double and 18th RBI of the year. The Sox lead 3-2, and the batter, Jimmy Hewlett. Still only 1 out in the inning. Ball 1 to Hewlett. Hewlett 1 for 2, grounded to the shortstop, then had a base hit to right center. Two balls and no strikes. I got a feeling if Hewlett reaches, the Orioles will make a pitching change. However, Boddicker is their #1 man with 11 wins. Out of play. Boddicker in the offseason works in a grain elevator in his hometown of Norway, Iowa. 13 of his 16 starts prior to this one, he has pitched 7 or more innings, so he is a workhorse. He has pitched 112 innings so far this year. And he gets Hewlett waving at an off-speed pitch, and the count is 2-2. Sox lead 3-2. Strike 3. Hewlett called out on strikes, and Boddicker gets a very, very big out for himself right there. We'll take another look at it. Hewlett can't pull the trigger, and that pitch catches the outside corner, and Hewlett down on strikes. The 3rd strikeout for Boddicker. That'll bring up Steve Lyons with Hairston at 2nd and 2 away. Boddicker has not walked anybody. And a base hit. Let's see if Hairston can score. You may have a play at the plate. And Lacy bobbles the ball. No play. The Sox lead 4-2. There would have been a play, I'm sure, at the plate had Lacy been able to field that ball cleanly. Here it is again. Base hit for Lyons. Now watch Lacy. He knows he's got a shot at Hairston, but he doesn't field the ball in right field. Right there, he boots it. As you see the entire play in right field, now knows that he has to make a throw to second base. Ripken doesn't know where the ball is out there at second, but Lyons holding at first as Hairston scores. A run batted in on a base hit for Lyons. No error is charged. And Earl Weaver is out to make a pitching change, bringing in Brad Havens. There's a break in the action with the Sox leading 4-2. We'll be right back. Brad Havens will be the new pitcher for the Chicago White Sox. Left-hander out here night before last, got his first major league save. He's won 3, lost 1 in 26 games this year, an earned run average of 4.71. 1 save, 42 innings pitched. He's allowed 40 base hits, walked 19 and struck out 30. Brad Havens saved Flanagan's 5-3 win in the game night before last. He pitched 1 inning. Came in after Don Ossie faced 4 batters, and they all reached in the 9th inning. He walked 1 and struck out 1. Got the last 3 outs in the ball game and registered his first major league save. So Havens is on to pitch to Julio Cruz with Steve Lyons at first base and the Sox leading by a score of 4-2. Havens is a native of Highland Park, Michigan. Lives now in Longwood, Florida, and he'll work to Julio Cruz, a native of Brooklyn, New York. Cruiser twice has grounded out. They play him in shallow at third. Fastball for a strike. There you see the third baseman, O'Malley. He was in. Over at first base, Beniquez is holding on Lyons. Ripken and Bonilla back, shaded a bit to the right side. Over to first and safe. Julio Cruz last year batted 144 left-handed, 250 right-handed. This year 277 left-handed and 200 right-handed. You can't figure. Ball and a strike to Cruiser. Brad Havens, 6'1", 195 pounds. First came to the major leagues with the Minnesota Twins. He was first signed into baseball by the California Angels, but never made the Angel Major League Club. Foul to the seats. Brad Havens figured in a very important trade. Back in 1979, the Angels, he was in the Angel trade to the Twins that brought Rod Carew to California. Lyons goes, and no chance as the pitch bounces in front of the plate. Stolen base for Lyons. Here it is from Lyons' lead. He's going, and that's going to be, I think, a hit and run, but the ball is in the dirt. And Cruz just ducks out of the way, knowing there's no chance for Lyons to be thrown out. And Lyons will have his 4th stolen base. Full count on Cruz, 3-2. The on-deck batter is Joel Skinner. Cruz is the 7th man to bat in the inning. The Sox have scored 3 times to take a 4-2 lead. And that one may drop in for the base hit, and will, and that'll mean a run. Lyons will come in to score. Shelby throws that ball back to the infield, lying flat on his back, and the Sox have now taken a 5-2 lead over the Birds. 3-2 pitch to Cruz. And sort of a humpback liner out into left center field. Coming on, the left fielder Shelby knocks the ball down on a dive. He'll throw it from his sitting position, but Lyons is in to score. Cruz has driven in his 13th run of the season, and Chicago leads 5-2. Harold Baines, a big grin on his face there in the dugout. Joel Skinner, the 8th man to bat in the inning, and the pickoff play to first. Cruz is back. Bodeker's record is complete. 5 2/3 innings, 5 runs. 9 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and a wild pitch. Safe again. That one almost sailed away from Benitez. The Sox now have 10 hits in the ball game. All 5 runs are earned on Bodeker's record. Skinner takes a strike. Joel has grounded out and popped up to the catcher. He's 0 for 2. Cruz at first. One-on-one to Skins. But right at Bonilla, who did not have to move for it. The Sox have scored 4 runs, though, on 5 hits, and at the end of 6 innings of play, it's Chicago 5 and Baltimore 2. That's the story as we go to the 7th inning. Chicago 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. Baltimore 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And Sports Vision is your home for Sox 86 Weekly Quest for the West, the official highlight show of the White Sox. Only on Sports Vision, Chicago's winners on cable. Call your local cable company for details. Drop the limbo bar. Tom O'Brien, 1 for 3 tonight as we go to the 7th. Ball 1. O'Brien had a double and came in to score a run back in the 3rd inning. Gene Nelson, the pitcher of record for the Sox, relieved starter Joel Davis in the 3rd. And Nelson is behind O'Malley 2-0. Plenty of activity in the Sox bullpen. McEwen is up and also a right-hander. And no strikes, and that's something Nelson doesn't want to do, is walk somebody here now that he has a 3-run lead. But sometimes what you want to do and what you do are 2 different things. That's a strike, and it's 3-1. Dave Schmidt is up in the Sox bullpen alongside Joel McEwen. Schmidt the right-hander, McEwen the left-hander. And the leadoff man is on. 2nd inning in a row in which Nelson has walked the leadoff hitter. He walked Wire leading off the 6th. And that'll bring Fregosi out. No matter how warm it gets, and I would venture to say that Jim Fregosi would have that jacket on if it were 100 degrees. Now, it's not close to 100 degrees, don't get me wrong. But that's his uniform, the warm-up jacket. Ted Williams used to always wear a jacket, as I recall, when he managed the Washington Senators, later the Texas Rangers. They tell me Ted did it for a different reason, though. He did it to cover up a little bit of a paunch that he put on after his playing days were over. Lee Lacy will step in. Sox leading 5-3. And the bunt. He may beat this one out. Nelson's got to hurry, and he gets him. That was a bunt for a base hit and should not be a sacrifice. It does advance a base runner. Here it is again. Nelson off the mound in a hurry. Second good fielding play Nelson has made tonight on a bunt, and he throws Lacy out. On to second base, but no sacrifice, Tom O'Malley. And Fred Lynn, the batter. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Batting .313 for the year. Look at that next figure. 14 home runs, 44 RBIs. And coming into the series, the Orioles' hottest hitter, he and Ripken. Lynn was out for a few games with a twisted ankle. Came back in Boston against Roger Clemens and struck out 4 times in a ball game. He picked the wrong night to come back, I'll say that. Ball 1 to him. Two balls and no strikes. The Sox lead 5-2, but the Orioles have a runner at second, 1 out. O'Malley, the base runner. And it's 3-0 to Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn started his career with the Boston Red Sox. Takes a strike. In his first full year, Lynn batted .331, scored 103 runs, led the league with 47 doubles. His lifetime batting average 8 for 16 against Gene Nelson. No wonder Gene's being so careful with him. And he's going to have another base hit, and that will score a run. O'Malley will race on from second base to score, and the Sox lead is now 5-3. As Fred Lynn has driven in his 45th run of the year. Here it is on the replay. Pitch hung up there, and he drills it into center field. Cangelosi charges the ball, sees the base runner, sees no chance, or he doesn't think there's a chance of a play on him, and runs the ball in. O'Malley scores. Lynn has a run batted in, his 45th of the year, and Fregosi is at the mound to make a pitching change. So that is all for Gene Nelson. Nelson threw 51 pitches while he was in the ball game. So a pitching change being made here in the 7th inning. There's a break in the action. The Sox lead 5-3, and we'll be right back. Well, Dave Schmidt is on the pitch. He has a record of no wins and 2 losses. 1 loss in relief, 1 as a starter in his only start of the year. He also has 4 saves, including a save his last time out. 53 1/3 innings, 55 hits, averaging a hit an inning, 16 walks and 39 strikeouts. A good ratio right there. His last appearance was Tuesday against Cleveland. He went 2/3 of an inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, a strikeout, and saved Neil Allen's win in the ball game, facing 2 batters. He'll work to Cal Ripken. 1 out. Fred Lynn at first base. Ripken 1 for 3 tonight, and his average has stayed at .299. Fastball thrown for a strike. Ripken's base hit came in the 3rd inning and drove in then the tying run in the ball game. He is the tying run at the plate here. Strike 2. Runner at first base is Fred Lynn. Did he go? He may have. Nope, they say he did not. Call made by the first base umpire, Larry McCoy. We'll take another look at it. He stopped it just in time. There it is, and, well, pretty good check right there by Cal Ripken. 1-2 pitch to him. Bouncer right side. Cruz. The flip again. 1. Back to first, not in time. They cut down Lynn, the lead runner, 4-6, but missed the double play. Here it is again. Cruz flags it down, shovels the ball to Ginn, who comes across the bag, eludes the sliding Lynn, throws back over to first, but not in time to get Ripken. Another angle closer up, underhand toss, hard throw back over to first base by Ginn, but Ripken beats the play there. So the Orioles stay alive with 2 outs, a runner at first, and Jim Dwyer, the batter. The big bat to bring up. He's got a perfect night. 2 walks and a double, a run batted in. The Sox lead 5-3. He went away for a few minutes and missed the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Sox scored 4 runs on 5 hits to take a lead. The Orioles have scored 1 run here in the 7th. No balls, 2 strikes. The count on Jim Dwyer. They play him to pull. See Ginn there. He's shaded almost behind the bag at second. Out of play. That'll reach the roof on the left side. And boy, what a pretty sky right now, too. Watching that foul ball reach the roof and just checking the beautiful downtown Chicago skyline. It's a lovely time of day. Foul to the right side and into the visiting dugout. Karams back out to Jimmy Williams. Straight back. So the count holds 0-2 on Jim Dwyer. As you take a look at Cal Ripken, the base runner at first, and Dave Schmidt trying to get the last out of the inning. Struck him out. That was a palm ball, and it got him. The Orioles score 1 run on 1 base hit. And in the middle of the 7th inning, it's 5-3, Chicago in the lead. Well, let's take a look at scores of other games. Here they come. Boston over California 3-2. Oakland topped Toronto 5-3. And Kansas City beat Detroit 7-4. Rain delay in Milwaukee. The Yankees lead the Twins 1-0 in the third, and Texas topped Cleveland 11-6 this afternoon. In the National League, Houston over Philadelphia 4-3. The Mets over the Braves 10-1. The Giants beat the Pirates 3-1. Those are all finals. Cincinnati, Montreal scoreless in the sixth. Cubs and Dodgers and the Cardinals and the Padres will be getting underway in about 35-40 minutes or so. And that's what happened elsewhere. Here at Comiskey Park, the Sox are leading 5-3 as John Cangelosi takes a ball leading off the bottom half of the seventh. There are the figures. The Sox 5 runs on 10 hits. The Orioles 3 runs on 7. Cangelosi 1 for 3 tonight. He has stolen a base and scored a run. And Havens high and outside. That's a strike, 2-1. Havens relieved in the sixth inning, and Cruz tabbed in for a base hit to drive in a run. He got Skinner on a line out to win the inning. Popped him up. Pardo has room. And a little bit of an adventure there, but he stayed with it and made the catch. Cangelosi is retired.
Yeah, had a little wind problem there, Frankie. Nice to be back with you.
All right, Del, I was going to ask you about that as Del Crandall has rejoined us. There he is.
There you see him have to make the adjustment now as the wind is blowing out toward left field. Not real strong right at the moment. You see the flag not really whipping around, but that ball was up high enough, so whatever wind there was affected it, and Pardo had to run it down.
So we have one out here in the bottom half of the seventh, and Ozzie Guillen opened the sixth inning with a single to center field, and that ignited a 4-run frame. Ball one. Guillen is 1 for 3. Breaking pitch and a strike, 1-1. RBI men for the Sox tonight, 1 each for Baines, Walker, Hairston, Lyons, and Cruz. Another curve grounded to the right side. Bonilla scampering to the glove, makes the play. 2 outs. Well, a big hand goes up for Harold Baines. 3 for 3 tonight. 2 singles, a double, a run batted in, and a run scored.
Oh, hum.
Another routine day in the office.
Oh, hum.
Harold has added 10 points to his batting average. Started the evening at .310. Added 6 points. And that's base hit number 4. Baines 4 for 4. Before the night's over, he may add 10 points to his batting average, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, you're going to see a typical Harold swing, a breaking ball, but he's able to cock that front leg and hold it just enough till the ball gets up there and drills it into center field.
Bill Baines has his 4th hit of the night, and Greg Walker will step in. Greg knocked in the tying run with a ground out. And hits this one off the end of the bat, played by the third baseman O'Malley to Bonilla. They force Baines to retire the side. We've completed 7 at Comiskey. The Sox 5, the Orioles 3. Well, we're going back through history again, taking a look at more Chicago White Sox All-Stars out of the past. Billy Fox, Ferris Fain, Minnie Minoso, Chico Carrasquel, and Billy Pierce there in '53. Minoso, Fox, Carrasquel again, Keegan, Trucks, and Consuegra in '54, and Carrasquel, Fox, and Pierce in '55.
I know those guys.
I knew all of them do, Del. That's getting up my era now.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we're ready for the 8th inning here as we get back to the present time, and Juan Benitez will lead off for Baltimore, and here to call it for you, Del Crandall.
Thank you, Frankie. A very enthusiastic crowd here at Comiskey. They are really lively. And this is a good ball game. White Sox trying to hang on to that 2-run lead. Dave Schmidt on the mound, and he'll face Juan Beniquez. Beniquez 2 for 3. And he hits the ball to Hewlett. He's up with it. And that takes care of Beniquez. 1 out.
Hey, let's go, David. Give it up, baby. Let's go. Hey, that's nice.
And that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, John Shelby. Shelby is 0 for 3. Tried to sacrifice his last time up, but got the ball too close to Nelson, the pitcher, and he was able to throw on to Hewlett to force Jimmy Dwyer at third, and then Nelson buckled down and got out of that inning. And the first pitch is high. Playing Shelby straight away. There's the ball hit toward Walker. Nice play by Walker. The throw. They got him. Excellent play by Walker and Schmidt to retire John Shelby. 2 out.
Well, you'll see an outstanding play right here. Ball pulled to the right side. Now watch Walker. Backhands are right there. His momentum carries him about 5 steps. Turns around. Schmidt is over there to cover, and Walker finds him, and Schmidt finds the bag. Good play on both ends, Del.
Yes, sir. If you notice, that ball got to Schmidt just about the time he was to step on the bag. This is when you can run into difficulty. But Walker had no choice but to throw it to him at that time. And we have 2 outs. Swing and a miss by the catcher, Al Pardo. Pardo 0 for 3. Hit a ground ball to the right side his first time up, and then has hit the ball twice to left field for outs. Misses inside. So Dave Schmidt, even in the count 1-1, throwing a good palm ball, good control, and also using his fastball effectively. Fastball swung at and missed. One and 2. Swing and miss way out in front of a palm ball from Dave Schmidt. 3 up and 3 down, and at the end of 7.5, the White Sox lead it 5-3.
The next White Sox game on Sports Vision comes your way tomorrow at 1:30 when the Sox close this homestand against the Baltimore Orioles. Starting pitchers will be left-hander Scott McGregor, a record of 6-7 for Baltimore, against right-hander Neil Allen, a record of 5-1 for Chicago. Tomorrow at 1:30 right here on Sports Vision.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The White Sox leading at 5-3. And a good, lively crowd on hand. 30,392 in attendance. Watch this fine ball game between these two ball clubs with the fireworks to follow. Left-hander Brad Haven still on the mound for the O's, and Jerry Hairston steps in. Here's the first pitch to Jerry. One and 0 on Jerry. Fastball on the corner. Evens the count at 1-1. Hairston from the right side hitting 190, but from the left side he's tearing it up. There's a breaking ball in and over. Two. Hairston from the left side came into the ball game hitting .329. And he has 2 hits tonight. Swing and a miss by Jerry, and that takes care of Hairston. 1 out. Here you're going to get a look at a high breaking ball that Harrison wants badly. He wants to hit that ball a long ways, but just didn't stay with it. As you see his head come out of there just a little bit too soon, and when that happens, your front shoulder comes out, and you don't stay with the ball quite long enough. And if it's a breaking ball, you're going to swing at it and miss it. And Tim Hewlett takes the first pitch for a ball. Hewlett 1 for 3. Timmy with 5 home runs. He had 5 home runs all of last year, so Tim has a shot to double that. Fouls it back. One and one on Tim. There you get a look at the on-deck hitter, Steve Lyons. Just missed inside. 2 balls and a strike on Tim Hewlett. Three and one. Pardo, the catcher, with all those hand movements after he gives the sign to the pitcher, trying to tell him where he wants the pitch, what location. That time he wants him to throw it right down the middle. And he does, and Hewlett fouls it back. Count full.
I think, Del, a lot of people don't realize that. Not only does the catcher give the sign for the fastball, curveball, change, or whatever, but also the location as to where he wants it.
Foul back again, so Hewlett stays alive. Yes, and I'm sure with the center field camera, that's been in use for many, many years. They see all of that movement. Sometimes catchers only do make one move, which is pretty easy. But other times they will tap 2 or 3 times, and the pitcher knows which one of those that he is to take. Ball hit hard. Long way. Upper deck. Home run for Tim Hewlett. White Sox lead it 6-3. And we get some early fireworks, Frankie.
Well, we sure do. And the Shy Sox kids will get another $250 donation from Busch Beer to help fight terminal illness in children. On that home run by Timmy Hewlett, his 6th of the year. Let's take another look at it. He doesn't miss this one. There's a fastball right there, and Hewlett gets all of it as he creams it into the upper deck in left field. His 6th home run, and a 6-3 Chicago lead.
And Steve Lyons takes the breaking ball in and over. RBIs for Tim Hewlett. Last year he drove in 37, so with some playing time, Tim's got a chance to exceed all of those. Misses with a breaking ball. 1-1. There's up the middle. Bonilla, now he tried to flip it to Ripken. Bonilla knew he couldn't make the play. Tried to flip it to Ripken, and it just was a bad toss, trying to throw it out of his glove. We'll get another look at it.
Well, here it is again. The ball has not hit that hard. Bonilla over there trying to flip it to Ripken for Ripken to make the throw. No go, and a base hit for Lyons, his 2nd of the night. And with the left-hander Lyons getting a base hit off the left-hander Havens, Earl Weaver is at the mound. So Weaver will make a pitching change, bringing Odell Jones in, and as Jones trudges in, let's take a look at the scores. Houston has topped Philadelphia 4-3. Havens throws 33 pitches in facing 9 batters. So as we wait for Odell Jones to come in, let's get back and check up on some other action. Houston over Philadelphia 4-3 with Nolan Ryan the winner. Shane Raleigh the loser. Raleigh has given the Phillies a good season, though. He is now 11-5. The New York Mets pounded out 15 base hits, scoring 10 runs in a 10-1 win over Atlanta. Aguilera the winner over Mailer. The San Francisco Giants 3, the Pittsburgh Pirates 1. Krukow beats Rodin in that one. Krukow all the way on a 7-hitter. Cincinnati has scored a run in the top of the 7th to take a 1-0 lead over Montreal. The Expos bat in the bottom half of the 7th. The Cubs and the Dodgers and the Cardinals and the Padres will be getting underway very shortly. As mentioned earlier, Ed Whitson is scheduled to start that ball game for San Diego, his first start since his trade over from the Yankees. Roger Clemens struck out 8 batters this afternoon as Boston beat California 3-2. Clemens won his 15th game. He'll go into the All-Star game with a record of 15-2. He has struck out 146 for the year, and there were 33,000 at Fenway cheering him on today. Odell Jones, a record of 1-0, no earned run average. Only been in 1 ball game. Pitching 3 innings, allowing 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts for Odell Jones. And it'll be the first time the Sox have looked at him. Oakland with 2 runs in the 9th inning to beat Toronto 5-3. Joe Canseco hit his 22nd home run of the season, and Shepard hit his first in that ball game. Dave Stewart the winner, and Jimmy Key was the loser. Kansas City topped Detroit 7-4 with 34,000 in Kansas City for the ball game. Texas over Cleveland 11-6. The Yankees lead Minnesota 2-0 now at the end of 2.5 innings. Nielsen against Smithson, and Seattle will throw Reed against Wegman in Milwaukee. Thanks, Eric. And we get back to action here with Jones on to pitch to Cruz. Del?
And we have 1 out. Steve Lyons is on first base. 6-3 White Sox. Odell Jones misses high. He has always had a good arm, Frank, but he has had trouble getting the ball over the plate. Has an excellent slider and a good fastball. You know, we were talking about Tim Hewlett has a chance to exceed what he did last year as Jones throws over to first. Hewlett hit 5 home runs last year in 395 at bats. He has 6 in 229. So Tim Hewlett showing a little power.
Well, you look at Hewlett up there at the plate, and you've got to figure that he can generate some power. He's a very muscular young man.
Ball 2 on Julio. Julio back on the left side. He singled his last time up for his first base hit of the evening. Hitting from the right side off of Havens. Ball 3. So Jones coming in and missing with his first 3 pitches. And Julio Cruz has a 3-0 count. There's a strike. Well, as Frank was reading the scores, we were panning the seats up here, the fans, and they're having a good time. Boy, they're consuming a little bit of food, Frank.
Well, they're not the only one.
Ball 4. So Jones walks the first hitter he faces. That'll move Lyons on down. There you take a look at Jones, a tall, thin right-hander. Steve Lyons moves on down to second, And there's Julio Cruz at first. And Joel Skinner steps in. Joel struggling a bit. 0 for 11. Hit a line drive at the second baseman his last time up. So Joel, over the last few ball games, this is his 5th start since Fisk came down with that virus. He's hit the ball good on occasion, but just hasn't been fortunate enough to get a base hit. Ball 1. Now Kenny Rowe is going out to the mound. Pitching coach for Baltimore. Saw Odell Jones a few years ago. There, you take a look at the sky. There are some clouds up there, no question about that, but we have been fortunate here. I don't know what has happened around Comiskey Park. There's a left-hander, Tippy Martinez. His role on the Orioles right now, just a little bit different. He used to be the man they'd bring in to close out a game, but he doesn't do that anymore.
Standing behind Tippy Martinez, Elrod Hendricks, caught for so many years down in Mexico, coach now with the Orioles after a good playing career here in the States. I got to tell you a story about that man after a pitch or two here.
Sounds like a good one.
Well, it meant a lot to me.
There's the strike.
I spent 5 months in a hospital in Baltimore one time with my right leg in traction after a hip operation, Del. And I would say on the average of twice a week, Elrod Hendricks would come and sit with me for an hour or two a day in the hospital.
It says a lot.
Well, it meant a lot to me, I'll tell you the truth. I'll never forget it.
Good swing by Skinner on a high fastball.
Remember a ball player named Kurt Moulton? Outfielder.
Yes, for Baltimore.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, Kurt would come. And I'll tell you somebody else who would come in and visit regularly was Jack Aker, who is now the pitching coach for the Cleveland Indians. You know, you don't forget things like that.
Nope, you sure don't. That's when you need people the most, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is.
1-2 on Skinner. Lyons at second, Cruz at first. Swing and a miss. So Jones struck out one and walked one. He has faced 2 hitters. That's the second out of the inning.
Well, we'll take another look. Skinner going after a fastball and just swings underneath it. And Odell Jones has his first strikeout.
John Cangelosi stepping in. John is 1 for 4. Singled way back in the first inning, stole second, and then scored on a first of 4 base hits by Harold Baines. First run of the ball game for the White Sox. Look out, John.
Well, we'll take another look at that last pitch up around the shoulders inside. Cangelosi spins back out of the way of it. Cangelosi. Another angle on it. He's been hit 7 times with pitches this year.
Ball 2.
But I don't think he'll challenge Don Baylor's record.
No.
I hope not, anyway.
I think the ball's going to hurt John Cangelosi a little more than it does Don Baylor anyway. I've never seen anybody like Don Baylor in my life.
I haven't either.
You throw it in there, you're going to hit him.
Yep. He won't move.
He's been hit over 200 times.
Yep.
Oh, broken bat. Bonilla, good play. Just got Cangelosi. And that retires the White Sox. White Sox come up with a run, and after 8, they lead it 6-3.
Well, as we go back through the years once again to 1956, Chicago White Sox All-Stars, Nellie Fox, Sherm Lawler, Billy Pierce, Wilson, Fox, Minoso and Pierce again in 57. Fox, Aparicio made the scene in 58, an early win. And then in 1959, Nellie Fox, the late Sherm Lawler again, Louis Aparicio, and early Gus Wynn. Chicago White Sox All-Stars from the past as we lead up to the present-day All-Star game. And I guess Jimmy Angio will have more of those, more nostalgia tomorrow, right? As we'll take the air at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon to wind up this homestand and to wind up action before the All-Star break. We're waiting for some fans to get their banner off the wall in left field. And now Juan Bonilla will step in to lead off the ninth inning. Sox out in front 6-3. And Nelson misses with a ball. Bonilla tonight is 0 for 3. And takes a strike, 1-1. Bonilla has 4 hits and 11 at-bats in the series. Playing at second base in place of Alan Wiggins, who had a little problem with the glove and with his base running. And that one, Baines comes out and makes the catch. Looks like Baines had a little trouble picking up the flight of the ball, but he knew where to go, and lo and behold, he was there, and so was the ball. Not hit that high in the air. It looked like a tough play for Baines. Now watch Harrell. Trying to get his head down, get that ball out of the lights. And he made the play. 1 out. Baines not only having a good night with the bat, 4 hits in the ball game, but making a good catch there. Strike 1 called on Tom O'Malley, who has a double to show for 3 at-bats. He doubled and scored in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 7th. Foul ball down off his foot. 0-2. As mentioned earlier in the broadcast, O'Malley briefly White Sox at one time in his career. Here it is on the replay, down off the side of his right foot. He was released by the White Sox the start of last year. Detroit Tigers organization signed him. He drives one right center field, and that one's going to go to the wall. O'Malley will get 2 and maybe 3 out of it. He'll settle for a double. Started coasting after he turned at first base, and a 2-base hit for Tom O'Malley. His 2nd double tonight. We'll take another look at it. He drives the ball hard to the gap at right center in between Cangelosi and Baines. Cangelosi plays it off the wall. You saw Baines spin around to tell Cangelosi what was happening back on the infield, whether O'Malley was going to try for 3 or not. Here's Lee Lacy. He's 1 for 3. Takes a ball low. Lacy has scored a run. He has reached on a walk and singled, grounded out twice. Fouls it back on a half swing. Tom O'Malley, the base runner at second. There's 1 out here in the ninth. Chicago leading 6-3. Foul back on a full swing by Lacy. Tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 game here at Comiskey. Neil Allen will take his 5-1 record to the mound. The Orioles will counter with left-hander Scott McGregor.
Hey, let's go. Let's go around here.
Schmidt came into this ball game in a save situation. Fred Lynn is the on-deck batter. Gene Nelson is the pitcher of record for the Sox. Three and 2. shortstop. Ginn holds the runner and throws. Lacey out, 2 down. O'Malley holding at second. And that'll bring up Fred Lynn. Lynn is 1 for 4, and he has driven in a run. Downstairs, ball 1. A strike to Lynn. Sox trying to hang in there and get this 3rd game of the series out of play. Seattle and Milwaukee not yet started. The Yankees now lead Minnesota 3-0. They're in the top of the 5th inning. The Yankees batting. There's Ripken on deck. And with 2 strikes on the hitter, Freddie Lynn, the fans want a strikeout. Nelson will settle for any kind of an out he can get. Check swing, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. The Sox could gain a game on California. The Angels lost in Boston 3-2. Three and 2, full count on Lynn. Walks, and the Orioles will bring the tying run to the plate, and Schmidt wants to know where that pitch was. Schmidt thinks this is a strike. You can watch it and see what you think. I'll tell you, that looks pretty good on the replay. You saw Lynn hunch up and duck away. Now watch Schmidt's reaction when it's called a ball. He thinks he's got it in there for a strike. A ball is called, and Schmidt says, "What? Why? Where?" So the Orioles have the tying run at the plate, and here is a guy that could tie it up. He's got the home run swing. Cal Ripken. Wow, he had a rip at that one and fouled it back off the mask of Mark Johnson. Ripken has hit 13 home runs this year. He has 49 runs batted in. One of his 5 hits in this series has been a home run. Runners at first and second. O'Malley at second. Lynn at first. Sox lead 6-3. And Ripken gets time. Out of play on the left side. Back into the crowd. Paid attendance tonight, 30,392 here at Comiskey Park, and they've seen quite a battle. Sox scoring in the first. The Orioles taking a 2-1 lead in the third. Sox coming back to lead 5-2 in the sixth. Baltimore making it close, 5-3 in the seventh. Sox going ahead 6-3 in the eighth. And that's where we are now in the top of the 9th inning. 2 strikes, the count on Cal Ripken Jr. One and 2. Just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. fighting to get the last out and get a save. And Skinner goes out to chat with him, and there is Jim Fregosi leaning on the padded railing there. Earl Weaver over on the other side. Nothing they can do about it. Weaver flanked by Terry Crowley on the near side, and Ken Rowe is pitching coach on the far side. 2-2 pitch. Down the right field line. That's a tough play, and Baines makes the catch. Baines has got it, and the ball game is over. What a catch by Harold Baines, and we'll see it again. For Baltimore in the ninth inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men are left on. And let's look at that catch again by Harold Baines. Ripken drives the ball hard down the line. Watch Baines come on. He's got to jump, his eye on the ball, has to reach down, makes the catch below his knees, hits the ground, rolls over, somersaults, hangs on, comes up and shows the baseball to the umpire down the line, Larry McCoy. A great catch by Baines to end it after he had 4 hits in the ball game on offense. We'll be back. Final score, White Sox 6, the Orioles 3. Well, there are your totals on the ball game as the Sox break their 3-game losing streak. Chicago 6 runs. The bats came alive. 13 base hits in the ball game, including a home run by Timmy Hewlett. No errors. The Orioles 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Gene Nelson in relief of Joel Davis, the winner, 5-4 Nelson's record. And Boddicker, the loser, 11-5. Dave Schmidt picked up his 5th save. Boy, it was good to see the bats come alive tonight. 13 base hits, 4 hits for Harold Baines in the ball game, and the game-ending catch. This is Cal Ripken, the tying run at home plate for Baltimore. Hits the ball down the right field line. Baines digging for it, keeps his eye on it. Now watch him. Makes the catch right off his ankle, hits the deck, rolls over, hangs on, shows the ball to the umpire. That is the last out of the ball game. And what a way for Baines to wind up the night. 4 hits, an outstanding catch to end it, and he's on his way to Houston after tomorrow's game. Back with more right after this.